So you're learning how to jump. Well, I believe that this method is not only the fastest method to learn how to jump, but also the safest and the path of least resistance. Because from the very onset, it focuses on three things, and that is control, consistency, and confidence. Let's be honest, confidence is like a muscle that builds slowly over time. And like any muscle, it can plateau and there can be setbacks. But when we focus on confidence from the very onset, those setbacks and those plateaus are fewer and farther in between. So I'm going to stop yapping. I'm going to get right to it. Right now, let's go. All right, welcome back, and thanks so much for making it this far. First of all, you need to understand whether or not you are ready to start jumping your bike. Do you have the basic bike handling skills to take it to the next level? And you need to learn how to find comfort in being uncomfortable. The biggest mistake a lot of riders make is that they rush to learn how to jump when they don't understand the basic mechanics of bike control. They don't understand the basic physics of even the most simple features. So before you even think about jumping, take your time. Push the limits with your tire on the ground before you even think about pushing the limits with your tires off the ground. You gotta be honest with yourself here. And this is the thing. Better bike control you have when you start learning to jump, the easier and the safer the following steps in this video will be to master. Next, you want to learn the basic bunny hop motions. Why? Well, because this is the introduction on how to use your legs, hips, and body mass to control the jumping motion. Learning the bunny hop high is not crucial, but mastering the motion is. This step is important because you want to control your arc. You don't want to rely on speed to control your arc, because when you allow speed to control and you don't control it, bad things can happen. If you want to learn more on this motion, go check out these videos. All the videos that I mentioned in this video, I'll also add the links to the description below. When you have this motion down consistently, go grab yourself a stick. Why? Because timing is crucial. You want to practice pushing your back wheel into the stick, because in the future, when you take this motion to jumps, this stick will represent the end of the transition or the end of the jump phase. We want to be fluid and in control with this motion. We don't want to rely on aggressive snapping or popping. Why? Well, because as a new jumper, timing is crucial. And when your movements are slow and in control, proper timing becomes easier. Notice too how I'm staying centered on the bike over the bottom bracket. My knees are over my toes, my shoulders are forward, and my chin's up over my stem. Notice too how I'm initiating with my legs and hips, but leading this small arc with my body mass. So after you've mastered this on flat ground with a stick, you can take this motion to the trails. Apply this basic bunny hop motion to rocks, roots, and anything that you can essentially pop off of. Make sure your rear wheel contacts the intended target before liftoff, because timing is super important, and we need to master timing at this phase in the game. Need more details? Check out this video. Now, once you've mastered the motion and the timing, it's time to take this skill to features with distinguishable landings, such as rollers or very small and low consequence gap jumps, jumps with little spaces in between them. You want to find small jumps where if you land short and don't go the distance needed, it won't be much of an issue. If you do find a small gap that you want to give a try, be sure to check that your chain ring will not hit the landing should you come up short. To do this, just roll your bike over the landing and make sure there are several inches between the chain ring and the landing. Now, by practicing this at a small scale, you'll learn the basics of judging speed, measuring control of your input, so that the arc takes you where you intend to land. If you don't have super small features in your area, check your natural trails closely, because Mother Nature places these all over the place. Oh yeah, you want to learn how to control your input? Check this video out. So you're popping and bouncing all over the trails and you are in total control. you feel confident, you're having fun. Time to take this skill to small jumps. Now, these small jumps would preferably be tabletops where plopping on top isn't such a bad thing. Here's why.
Going to see again how slow I can go and still clear it in control. So what that'll do is it'll really eliminate speed as a determining factor and force me to focus on technique to clear it. Because it's a tabletop, it's safe. So you can see there, I went pretty slow. I mean, slower than most people would think, and I was still able to clear it. Let's go again. So my goal is to get to the point where I'm just slightly casing it, barely clearing it. What I then want to do is evaluate whether it's my technique that's keeping me from clearing it. If I feel like my technique is strong and perfect, again, you might have to film from the side, and you need to be the ultimate judge on whether your technique is good. But you know, there comes a point where you can only go so slow with technique and still clear stuff. So you got to be truthful and honest with yourself. That's why coaching is so important, because a coach will tell you whether your technique is where it needs to be or not. So let's go a little slower. Sit it down, we're seated. Coming in pretty slow. And I feel like that's about as slow as I can go. Because really I drove high with my shoulders into that arc. Slow.
Now at this point, you need to check yourself and make sure your nerves aren't taking over and that you've not begun to rely on speed to get you the distance versus your technique. Yes, speed is a factor, but at this point, we want to make sure that the main factor is our input. We don't want to build bad habits, because again, when we control the input, we control the jump. If you need more details on this, you can check out this video. So you're feeling pretty good on the small jumps, you're in control, you're feeling confident, feeling consistent. What's left? Well, time and repetition. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Recognize when your form is bad and correct it. Because after all this work, you don't want to build bad habits. As you're repeating the process, you are building confidence, consistency, and control, which will allow you to move up to bigger jumps. And when you do so, they will be far less scary. Ultimately, you'll know when it's time to move up to bigger jumps. But remember this, be a hero on the small stuff rather than a zero on the big stuff. If you like what you saw here, let me know with a like. And if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.